Understand she's together with the Nyeri County Speaker, right, Raquel?
Yes, Yusuf, right. I am with the Nyeri County Speaker, John Kaguchia, who's also an expert on matters of governance. He'll just be giving us a brief on exactly how devolution has been in Nyeri County. If you just try to bring into perspective, Nyeri County has suffered a lot of setbacks with the first governor, that is the late Nyeri County, dying in office. We also had there were some wrangles with between the MCAs and the governor, and also when his deputy was taking over. It was the political season, so therefore so much was focused on the politics at that particular time. When they came to the second election of the second governor, Dr. Wahome Gakuru, he also passed on a few months ago following a road accident, and now his deputy has taken over, but with no deputy. And therefore it has been we can say a rough ride for Nyeri County residents. And I just do have John Kaguchia with us who will be able to just speak more and tell us if Nyeri residents have been able to feel devolution here in Kenya since its inception almost 6 years ago. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, for joining us here at KTN News. Do you think Nyeri residents have been able to feel the effect of devolution since its inception following all these major setbacks?
Definitely. The residents of Nyeri have felt the impact of devolution in the county, as any other county has done. But probably Nyeri County has suffered many challenges. You remember that our former governor, that is the former, that is Honorable Gachagua, when he became unwell, the county government kind of almost came to a halt in terms of the programs of the county. And many things that he actually may have wanted to do, probably he was not able to do it. And for that reason, the absorption rate of revenue in the county went to a no-low levels. And for that reason, the county was actually almost coming to number 47 in terms of absorption of revenue. And so you find most of the funds that would actually come to the county would be taken back, or by the time we are completing a financial year, the county will not have done actually what it was expected to do. But again, now, this year has not also been easy. Of course, this has been a political year. It has been a year that there was transition. And so again, there was nothing much that was actually happening during the year. And of course, just when, of course, we settled to work, we lost the governor. And that was a very big setback as well. But what I would say is that other than losing the governor, we were able to still keep in pace with all the programs because with the stable county assembly, then you have the county government kind of still stabilized and kind of cushioned against all those other setbacks. So you realize that as a county, we have been able to go through the budget making process, especially when it comes to the issue of the supplementary budget. That is something that we did in good time, and indeed we passed that well before we went on recess. That is in December. And we were also able to go through the process of passing the names for the CECs. We were also able to do the same for the chief officers that were provided to the county assembly. And so all that process has been completed, meaning we happen to be one of the counties actually who are keeping up to the pace in terms of the timelines that have been put in the devolution matrix. And for that, really, we are happy that we are actually leading in that regard. There is also a very important aspect of devolution that has to do with the county integrated development plans, that is CIDP. And if you go to all the counties, you'll find that now they're actually struggling with the issue of coming up with that. And you can imagine a county where they have not been able to put up the county executive committee or the cabinet. It becomes extremely difficult for them to go through that process. In this case, as a county, we have been lucky because we have had a stable cabinet now. And for that reason, we have been able to go through this process of making the CIDP. We had public participation in December, and the county government has actually been able to go through the whole process of now collating together and putting together what the public has said. And now what I'm expecting actually today is to receive that document now, the CIDP, so that I can also subject it now to the county assembly. And what we have done is to try and informally, go through some of these things so that we can peruse, we can ventilate all the issues, and have a discussion, even away from the formalities, like it should be a good governance practice, that you have sufficient time to go through, to criticize, to check, to turn it up and down, until you can be able to, get a document that will be acceptable to everyone. And after that, that's when I'll call for a special sitting, whereby, of course, with consultation with the House leadership, so that then we can commit it to the committee, which then again now will go and put together everything that has been raised informally and put it formally again. And after that, that's when again we shall commit back, or we shall take back the CIDP back to the county government. So it is a whole process that must be extremely consultative, extremely and thoroughly ventilated by all the parties, all the stakeholders, right from the public to the county government, to the county government executive, to the county assembly. And again, people ask where and why do we normally have especially issues to do with the vuta ni kuvute, or push and pull from the county executive and the county assembly. Sometimes it's when you get this kind of a document and you want to directly subject it to a formal and to the assembly, even before the MCAs actually understand, or even before they put their voice. If you expect that they are going to put their voice in a very limited 2-hour session, then it becomes very difficult. And so what we want to do is to have a session and sit down, thoroughly go through that document. And that way, we will be able to add value, and we'll have a document that is definitely going to be taking into consideration the thinking and the aspirations of Wanjiku, of their leaders, that is MCAs, and of course the county government. And you realize the CIDP is extremely important, very, very important, because there is no project that can be funded by Treasury from now up to the next 5 years if it is not in the CIDP. So it means that in the CIDP lies the aspirations of this county for a whole 5 years. And of course, I'm sure in this second county government session, I'm sure the Treasury and even the CRA would be very, very keen to ensure that only projects which are actually in the CIDP are actually funded. And of course, after the CIDP, then we'll have what we call the ADP, the annual development plans. And that now is done every year. And you see, this one is actually plucked out from the CIDP. And this ADP, the annual development plans, actually are done every year again. That informs the budget that again is made. So you make the budget now again from the annual development plan. So to us, this process is very, very important. And that is why we're giving it the seriousness it deserves. Because take for example, if this county ever aspires to be, ICT or technologically savvy in terms of ensuring that to integrate all our systems into ICT, if that is missed in this particular CIDP, then it will not come in the annual development plans, and it will also not be allowed in the budget. So it is important that even anyone who is out there who thinks or imagines that there is anything that they think this county need to be done in the next 5 years, they must take keen interest in this document. So we'll make it public so that